Ken Trahan, Lenny Vangilder, SportsNola.com. The New Orleans Saints coming off of a preseason loss to the Houston Texans, now in California as they spend a week in the blissful weather of the West Coast, enjoying the time in preparation for the preseason game with Oakland. Lenny, obviously that's really not why they went out there. They didn't go there to prepare for the Oakland Raiders. They went out there to get a break from the weather, to change things up, and to start preparing for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, and it does a lot of things. Sean Payton made the point after Monday night's practice that because of the conditions out there, temperatures in the low 70s, very little humidity, they can work a little bit longer. They stretched out the practice yesterday, probably went about 2.5 hours as opposed to maybe 2 hours that they've been going here on Airline Drive. So that additional work means additional reps, and that all pays off. And obviously the fact that they're on the road all together like that, it's a little bit of a bonding experience as well.
The team did not perform as they would like to have performed against the Texans, who were clearly prepared to play. And in this particular game, the offense, first team-wise, looked pretty good. They moved the ball well. They just didn't finish. And a lot of people want to point to Zach Strief. He did very well against Mario Williams. The real problem was Bushrod got beat for a sack fumble on Breeze on that first possession.
Yeah, you'd like to have seen him finish that first possession. That first possession, up until the sack fumble, was a Drew Brees clinic. It really was. It was running the ball, passing the ball. It was the type of Saints offense we've grown to know and love over the last couple of years. And then just I liked what happened there in the final series with the number ones, in that Drew Brees said, hey, we're going to make this first down on fourth down with the pass to Colston. And then even after Sean Payton had called the timeout from the side, still getting the touchdown with the run by Mark Ingram, which was just strictly Mark Ingram effort there. Great to see.
The defensive concern, clearly, not so much against the pass, though they gave up plays, against the run, because this looked very familiar to Saints fans, in hearkening back to that Seattle playoff game of a year ago where people ran through gaping holes and ran free in the secondary. Lenny, that's obviously a bit of a concern. You can't allow people to run the ball that well. Some players didn't play for long periods of time. Others did not play at all. Clearly that was a factor, but you still have to have some concern about this.
No doubt. I mean, that's got to be a concern, and that's part of the reason that the Saints signed Shaun Rogers and Abreu Franklin here in the offseason, was to try to shore up that run defense. Now, Franklin left the game with an injury. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the season opener, but still, that is something that Greg Williams is making a point of emphasis in Oxnard right now.
And, of course, other guys sitting out, as we mentioned. And more than that, I think it was Greg Williams just being very, very basic and vanilla. They play each other in Week 3 of the regular season. There's no way he's tipping his hand in this situation.
No doubt. I think on both sides of the ball that was the case. And, still in all, it is a preseason game. It's something, that you get on film, and it's something to learn from. And, Sean Payton mentioned Monday night that they after you went back and looked at it, the good things were maybe not as good as you thought, the bad things were maybe not as bad as you thought, and they were able to find a lot of individual things that they could point to and go forward from there.
All right, players to watch moving forward. Joseph Morgan has clearly played his way into getting a real look and maybe sticking on this team. And I guess a lot of people are asking, is it possible that he could supplant a current receiver on the team on the roster? I know a lot of people have speculated maybe Devery Henderson, because his yards per catch dropped down significantly last year, but he's a proven commodity. I don't know that I'd go that far, but certainly I'd go so far as to say Morgan has opened eyes and deserves a further look.
Well, no doubt. And, Sean Payton has tried to carry 6 wide receivers when he could. If Morgan could be a guy who can play on special teams like a Courtney Roby, I would think Adrian Arrington has some work to do to make sure he's got a spot on this roster.
Yep. Nate Bussey getting a look at linebacker, because outside linebacker is still a major position of concern. Martez Wilson a little bit slow at this point to come along, but he'll be here. And, of course, Joique Bell coming back from injury. He certainly has a chance to make this team. And other than that, Turk McBride would be another guy to look at, a guy that's been in the league, but he's looked good in the preseason thus far.
Yeah, and he's a guy who can, make some big plays happen. He had 5 sacks a year ago. It was a career best year, but still, this is a group of defensive ends that has not had a lot of sacks in recent years, and obviously you're, facing the possibility that Will Smith will not play the first 4 games of the year, so that veteran presence could be key early in the season.
Saints and the Oakland Raiders coming up Sunday evening, and of course Terrell Pryor is an Oakland Raider. I don't know if we'll see him on the field, though he can play in the preseason. As always, Lenny, thank you. Look forward to another week of Saints football.
Absolutely.
And for SportsNola.com, I'm Ken Trahan. Thanks for joining us.